Guys, this is Sarah French. You are listening to Don't Go Out There podcast.
In a world where zombies, ghosts, serial killers, and vampires all exist, it's Nico, Brian, Mike, and Dustin, and they are all that stand between you and the films that could end the world. Welcome to the Don't Go Out There Horror Movie Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Don't Go Out There Horror Movie Podcast. Just want to thank all of our fans and listeners. Really appreciate the support. You guys are awesome. Before we get into tonight's film review, just want to give a quick shout out to our website, don'tgoouthere.com. Everything about our podcast is on the website. All of our episodes and interviews, if you want to check those out. We've done some incredible interviews in the past. Go check them out there in a specific tab by themselves so you don't have to scroll through hundreds of episodes on Apple or Spotify, etc. We also have our store if you want to grab a shirt, a mouse pad, a hat, all that good stuff. We'd love to see your pictures, rep your favorite podcast. And Shan's Etsy page is also attached if you want to grab a tumbler. All of our social media links are on there as well. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Like us, subscribe us, follow us, all that good stuff. And the last thing I want to shout out on our website is our Patreon. We call it Blood Donors. We have the traditional monthly reoccurring kind. If you want to support us, help us pay the bills, as we say. Or if there's a movie you want us to review, that option is available as well. Just check out our website, don'tgoouthere.com. Also, if you haven't noticed, we've recently joined the Believe Network. So there's some ads on our program now. But if you want ad-free content, go check us out on Blood Donors. The ad-free episodes will be available there. We appreciate your support. We hope you enjoy the episode. All right, guys, on to the film review. We continue on with Spooky Season with Brother Mike's pick. You want to announce your pick and why you picked it?
Yeah, I went with 2025's question mark, Con of the Cornfield.
Yeah.
Look, man, I just kind of wanted something fun, slashery. It's Halloween time, spooky season. While this is, kind of a summerween movie, I guess if you would call it, this still gets me in the mood for horror movies, right? I can't say it's a paint by numbers slasher. I've seen that online. I don't agree with that, especially the last 15, 20 minutes is definitely not a paint by numbers slasher, but it does follow a lot of those tropes and beats. And hey, look, if you're a slasher fan, you're going to enjoy a lot of that. It has very stereotypical characters. I do think this movie gives them a little bit more depth and a little bit more to do than some of the other 80s and 90s slashers do, but nonetheless, very stereotypical characters. Story is very basic as far as how to follow it. It's not very complicated. And then I think they try to overcomplicate it to its detriment a little bit. And I'll touch on the message of the movie at the end, because that's really where the only time it comes into play. I think it's a fun, just turn your brain off slasher. Don't have to overthink it. Some really good kills, some really funny dialogue. Will Sasso is a funny motherfucker. He could say the dictionary and I'd laugh. So there's that. Like I texted Dustin in the group the other day, I wish we could have fit some Jesse Ventura impersonations into this film somehow. It would have been awesome. But nonetheless, I enjoy the film. I think that Friendo is a great slasher character. I'm interested to see where it goes, because the movie definitely leaves some stuff not so tied up. And if they're not going to do anything else, then this movie would go down for me. But I do think they're going to answer those questions. Also, shout out to Kevin Durand. He's great as always.
My guy,
man, not just Jesse Ventura, man. I've seen him do a ton of people's impressions. He is great.
He has, but Killer Cross and Will Sasso's Jesse Ventura sounds more like Jesse Ventura than Jesse Ventura does. I heard this movie was filmed down in the Baja.
The Baja. Dude, Will Sasso doing Scott Hall is the best. Hey, Sasso, you look like a guy who can do coke and eat.
Yeah, he does. He did sound great.
While we're on the topic here, shout out to Dan Soder too, because his Macho Man is the best Macho Man going.
He is fantastic.
But I'll go and give my thoughts. First of all, Mike, I appreciate you picking this one. 2025 is definitely overdue. I saw this movie in the theater May 8th of this year. Nico and I did an instant reaction. To no one's surprise, I don't remember anything I said on that. So if I repeat myself or contradict myself, fight Mike Settle about it. what are you going to do? This movie's fine, though. It's not great, but it's fun. I will say this. This is the best horror movie with a clown antagonist in the last 15 years or so. Take that how you will. I meant every word of it. It's got typical dumb teenage characters, typical dumb decisions, but some good kills, some creative kills, and some laughs. I don't hate it.
All right, I'll go next. Yeah, me and Dustin did an instant reaction to this Clown in a Cornfield, after it released. Actually, on my first watch, missed a little bit of the opening because this movie, when it started at 7, it literally started right at 7 and didn't give 20, 30 minutes of trailers. But, that was my fault. But, just back to the movie. I enjoy it. I think it's a fun little slasher, and I have a good time with it each and every time. Like it's just a corny, cheesy slasher. I still have a few issues with it. Sure, I'm not a fan of like Kevin Durant's look at the end. There's some other things I complained about, like the giant blood splatter on the windshield towards the end. But overall, I just have fun with it. I think it's a fun movie.
Man, this one's hard for me. I mean, to know how I really feel about it, to be honest with you, because to me, look, it's a bad movie. But with that said, so are a ton of late 80s and early 90s movies that are just tropey, mindless fun, which I think this takes a lot of inspiration from and feels like in itself. But, it's a quick watch. It has fun kills. It isn't really bogged down from anything. But on the flip side, its dialogue is mostly bad. Its pacing's way off. So this may seem like a cop-out, but it almost depends on what I'm in the mood to see when I put this one on, if that makes sense. Like, this isn't too heavy, and if that's what I want to watch, then I won't watch this. But I do think that it's just a fun little, like Mike kind of mentioned, a fun little Halloween time movie that I think would be, we've said this before, good on in the background at a party, if that makes sense.
Sure.
Yeah, it's fair. Go ahead, Mike. Do you have something else?
Yeah, just really quick. So I completely agree with you, although it's weird because this movie definitely in the last, and it's the book, right? It's a book series, so it's not technically the movie. It's the story that the books are telling. But it definitely tries to be something more, which is fine had they laid that in the whole time. But I don't think it earns its ending, its last 15 minutes. And you mentioned the pacing, which is really my big complaint throughout. And I know we're going to get into it with the scene by scene, there's a lot of nothing happening. Just a lot of nothing happened, and then a little something would happen, and then a lot of nothing would happen, and then a little something. Like, the pacing is so surprising to me. Now, again, some of that works to its advantage, I think, because when I don't want to just like dial in and focus, it's like Friday the 13th Part 8, or God, that movie's awful. 7, right? Where I can
That's
just
good.
turn it. No, it's awful. And Jason X, that's when you got to lock into, buddy. Be ready to go. No, again, it is schlocky. It is fun, but I'm going to get into it. I'm already kind of spoiling it, but it made me a little upset that it felt like it tried to tell a story that it wasn't telling the entire time. And that really bugged me. Now, that's no knock against Kevin Durant because he ends up being the ultimate villain in this movie, and he's great. He's great as Proximus Caesar. He's great as a lot of other characters. So, what a wonderful day. We get to cover this movie. Let's do it.
No, and I've heard that same thing, too, like about the books and how, well, if you read the books, this makes more sense, this makes more sense. But to me, I'm not on board with that. Like, I want this movie to be standalone. I don't want you to have have read the book. And I feel like that without the book and without that knowledge, this is a mess.
Well, that's my point,
that's
right?
Fair.
Like, when someone says that, I'm like, dude, it's the same way when I have to watch a vid. And by the way, I did not score Beau is Afraid the lowest on this show. Well, like I said on that episode, when I have to go and watch a video essay about your movie to understand what the fuck happened, that's not a good thing, okay? And I'm not a dumbass. I'm not a genius, but I'm not a dumbass. That is, buddy, I know you got to defend A24, but the plot's a mess, man.
It's not even A24. It's Ari Aster.
Whatever, same shit.
It's Ari Aster. He's a genius. So
I like Beau is Afraid.
Arthur Fleck right now.
Huh?
I feel like Arthur Fleck right now. You wouldn't get it. But I will say,
I'm good.
Brian, you said that you want this movie to work as a standalone. I agree, and what I mean by that is I'm not even talking about the books. Don't make a sequel. But
Too late.
the thing about the people that say stuff about, if you read the books, you get it, or read the books, this, that. We live in a time where the people that quote unquote read the books don't even read the books. They listen to audiobooks. That's not reading. You're listening to a podcast tell you about the book. Like, I don't buy that. It's not the same. And I don't like listening to podcasts, no offense to us. So the chances of me reading a book, no, it's just not happening. But also, this movie, this story, to me is like you've got a sandwich, and the ingredient between the bread, that's what you want. Like the middle part of this movie, when the action's going, it's fun, it's funny.
100%.
That's the good part.
Mm-hmm.
The bread of this movie is like someone tried to make a very nice like artisan roll, like a brioche bun, but was missing like 4 ingredients. Like they tried to make something really nice, but it just didn't turn out. So like
the flour didn't
movie
rise,
tries
but
to,
the yeast didn't rise.
Yeah, the flour. When the movie tries to like be serious or give character depth or have an actual story, I think this movie fails. But the fun part, which is the middle part of the movie, it's more like the back half of the middle of the movie. I think that's the best part of the movie. And there's a very distinct time when it happens, and it's at the party. That's when it's like, okay, this is fun. I like this. This is good.
Yeah.
But anyway,
you know, your biggest complaint about sequels is that there's not story to tell. But yet, this may be the case to where they haven't even told the story yet.
I'm glad you said that.
There's got to be.
Glad you said that. If you can't get me invested in the first one, then your story's not good enough to warrant a sequel to begin with. So
that's my
I don't
problem.
think there's a win in this argument here with Dustin.
That's my problem with someone's like, you need to read the book. Well, damn it, explain it to me in the movie. Like, look, the Harry Potter series left a ton out of the movies, but I still understood what the fuck the story that was being told on film was. I don't have to go read the books to understand what Harry and crew are going through. Like, this is not, like, I shouldn't have to read extra material to understand your film. That's my, now this movie's easily understandable. I'm just saying to add depth to the story. I don't want depth to the story. The story was almost had too much depth in the last act. But anyway, go ahead. I'm good.
Yeah, shout out to Harry Potter, though. Those are books I did read, like manually read the pages. They're really good. Same with Game of Thrones. And also, Brian, you told me to do this. So spaz. Spaz was the word I called someone. And I was told that's an ableist slur because being spastic is a disability that hinder. I was like, what?
Oh, my God.
Anyway, you can cut that if you want to because I guess that's offensive. But
guess not. Nah.
Anyway, anyone have any other opening thoughts before we get into the scene by scene? All right. Nico, take it away.
All right, guys, jump to the scene by scene. The film starts with a POV shot through a cornfield heading to a bonfire in 1991. Great year. I was born that year. We see young folk partying as someone winds up a pop-up box friendo clown. Jessica leads Tyler into the cornfield with a removed shirt indicating some potential sexual activity. Tyler steps into a giant footprint joking about her shoe size. She jump scares him and spits blood all over him. We see she has a huge gash on her head and chase scene ensues. Brendo stabs him in the gut with a farm tool, very Freddy vs. Jason-esque, and holds him in the air as a title card appears. Present day Kettle Springs as Quinn and her doctor dad pull into town as he spits hot fire with the 80s rap. Quinn makes her dad feel old with his 80s rap as they make it to their new house. They both complain of the bad smell and no cell signal. Flies are buzzing at the fireplace, and the source of the bad smell is revealed. Dead raccoon. Animal services remove the corpse as Quinn sees an old abandoned factory across the cornfield. She unpacks and decorates her room. Next morning, Dad appears to be struggling some and offers her a ride, but she wants Wi-Fi more. She's jump scared by a boy named Rust who offers to walk her to school. Quinn seems sketched out by her surroundings and asks what's there to do for fun. Rust is a hunter and fisher and assures her not everyone is a redneck. Unlike this podcast, we're all rednecks and hillbillies. If you know, you know. They make it to school and Quinn makes it to class late, and the teacher is way too harsh, not understanding her being new. They prank the teacher with a Photoshop picture on the projector screen, and he makes them do their test now. He blames Quinn for being late and sends her to detention. However, the teacher was pranked by putting his dating profile on the test. The group consoles Quinn, and they all introduce themselves. She's from Philly, go Eagles Mike, and she's filled in with the town's history in the Founders Parade. She's taught about Friendo the Clown in their YouTube channel. She watches some of their content as we cut to her and Pops at the diner. He asks if she's missing her friends and asks if that's why she was acting out today. Waitress asks if they're ready to order and gives Quinn a nasty look. He tells her the good news. We have Wi-Fi as the sheriff enters. He greets the doctor and shakes his hand. He needs his services, and the town is in need of a doctor. Sheriff sees the kids outside, and Quinn joins them after the sheriff's warning. Her generation is going to save the world one cow at a time, Sheriff says as Quinn dips. And I laughed at that line.
All right, so I like the cold open here in 1991 as far as the kill and everything. At the risk of sounding like a pervert, though, I won't make my usual comment about a movie that hits all the best hits of the 80s movie but doesn't have nudity here. But, you know. I said I wouldn't say it. But after seeing the movie all the way through, what the fuck was the point of this being in the early 90s? I mean, like, nothing comes back to this, spoiler alert. But as far as I can tell, like, none of these characters even in the rest of the movie. So unless I'm missing something, I don't really understand the point of this not really connecting to anything out there. I did, though, catch the connection to Jaws, where it's almost shot for shot with its cold open. The camera even tracks the same way through the corn stalks with the credits, right up to a woman in the foreground smoking a heater. By the way, me and Dustin were just talking about smoking in movies making a comeback.
Smoking is back.
Let's go. Leading a young man away from the party, you know, that whole thing. I thought a nice little homage there. And I've definitely said this before, but I like it, which is 20-something-year-olds playing high school students. Again, I think it's so ingrained in my mind from all of these horror movies that when I see an actual teenager playing a high school student, they seem like they should be in middle school. So, big fan of that. Most notably, Quinn, Katie Douglas, who turned 25 during filming this here. And speaking of her, and honestly, the whole open with them moving into that old, completely furnished house, by the way, is that a real thing people do? I don't know. Mike, you let me know, you're rich. But I mentioned in my open about the movie not being heavy, and it's not. So to me, this whole thing with them supposed to be acting like their wife and mother just passed away, and they're running from everything and the staring at the coffee, that should be a pretty heavily weighing scene, and that should be pretty heavily weighing on them. And I don't know, I just didn't feel that. Yeah. By the way, Professor Vern, that is a super wild picture for dating profile. Like, look, I'm an old man. I don't know much about dating profile pics, but that seems like it is wild. And with the director of Tucker and Dale vs. Evil heading this up, I did expect some comedy. I just don't know if it really worked a whole lot for me in this movie. Like, I didn't laugh a whole lot. By the way, Quinn, feeling like being stuck in the 90s would be a blessing. It was the only peak. I think it was only the peak of humanity. Oh, and movies. Right, Nico? Right? Anyway, good start. My first watch, I felt like it was a lighter Children of the Corn, maybe, especially with the way the adults were acting towards the kids, but that's all I had.
Before you go, Mike, Brian, you mentioned this just didn't have this. It didn't work as well as Tucker and Dale. I agree. I think it's because this movie's missing Tyler the Bean. I think he's what was missing. But also you said Quinn. How old was she during this film?
25.
Well, at 25, am I right? Go ahead.
You ain't fucking lying. You ain't. Hey,
I felt like I was
lying,
set
brother.
up for something.
Jesus Christ. One thing that, again, I think works to its advantage is you get these old school, fun, cheap slasher vibes right off the bat, right? Like you mentioned the slashers of the 80s, but this isn't even like those, like, you know, think of your high end ones, right? Like ones directed by Wes Craven, John Carpenter. Like, I'm talking like not quite straight to VHS, but like, you know, Valentine's Day, you know, like, you know, New Year's Day, you know, like one of those, like, went to the theater,
April Fool's Day.
Yes. Right. Like one of those, this is what that feels like. And I'm already having fun. Okay. Now, obviously I didn't have cornfields in Florida, but I did have orange groves. And you'd be hard pressed to find a better fucking party in 2007 to 2010 and then a fucking orange grove party, brother. That was a good time. So it took me right back there. And this part takes place in 1991 when Brian was already in his 40s. So I know that he's got that going for him. Sorry. I will just say.
You're not sorry.
I'm sorry. Sorry, I'm from Canada. Sorry. Shout out to our 3 Canadian listeners. Now, listen, as my new business venture gets underway, I happen to notice that this barn could have used a nice little soft wash with sodium hypochlorite. Just saying that. Just throwing that out there right now. A little moldy on the outside. A little wash wouldn't hurt. I will say the dead animal falling from the fireplace is just an immediate no. You may be able to get out of the mortgage that you're paying for it unless you bought it with cash like Brian does, or at least get your down payment back, because ain't no fucking way that you bought this house sight unseen and there's a dead raccoon falling out of the fucking chimney. Nope, gotta go. Now, one thing I think, and I said this in my open, I think this is one of those cheap slashers that does at least make its characters interesting for being stereotypical. Like, they each have a little bit of something to do for the most part, or the ones we're supposed to care. Yeah, right. That's more so what I meant. Like, at least there's some effort there, and I think Quinn is a good character. Like, I think Cole and I'm drawing a blank on Cole's lover's name here, but I'm sorry. I have it in my notes, but
Janet?
I think
Rust,
yes, thank you.
Yeah.
I think they're interesting characters. At least they're given some depth. Some of the other friends in the group are obviously have nothing going for them. That's why they're on screen to die. But anyway, we learned that her mom died. And like you mentioned, this should be an emotional scene, and it is to an extent, but they don't really harp on that too much. Like, it's not really a big point of emphasis as far as her story and all of that. Like, they don't really bake that into her character the way I'd like to. Now, could you imagine moving from Philadelphia, if you've lived there your whole life, to the middle of nowhere, Missouri? I'm a small town USA guy, but that would fucking suck. Like, I have no doubt about that. Like, that would not be great at all. It is a little strange that my man Rust here, Stranger, wants to walk her to school automatically. Why are you showing up at the new house? How did you know I was here? Why are you watching? And you're walking me to school. I don't think that's small town USA, man. I think that's kind of weird. By the way, this movie does a pretty good job of highlighting the most annoying traits of both Gen Z, millennials, and Gen X. Like, all three generations are represented with their worst traits. Because pranking people and just thinking that's okay and not annoying all the time and then putting it on video and then taking that video and putting it on the internet is a very annoying character trait of Gen Z that they think is just supposed to be okay. Like, I'm just supposed to be okay with that and not punch you in the face. Well, guess fucking what? When you get punched in the face, you deserve it. That's all I'm saying. We already kind of talked about Will Sasso moving from the Baja and likes to do coke and eat. So I always wanted to put that in there. Last thing, I love a little diner like this, man. I love to go eat here, whether that's like right around 11 a.m., you know what I mean? Lunch just kind of starting to roll in, but the hash browns are still pretty crispy. Yeah, man, that's my kind of diner.
Yeah. Speaking of diners, if you're ever in Knoxville, Tennessee, go to Pete's, downtown Knoxville. Great diner. But anyway. We open with, the bonfire party set in 1991, which I had in my notes is when Brian graduated high school, but Mike said he was 40 at the time. So now I'm starting to question how long Brian was actually in high school.
Jesus Christ.
But look, the bonfire party scene, that's a scene that we've seen 100 times to kick us off here, except for this one includes a high school age kid playing with a jack-in-the-box. And they say that autism is a new thing. No, look at that. The guy that follows her pissed me off so much. She is wanting you to follow her into the corn, and she's already taken her clothes off, and you'd rather smoke? Come on. And then how did he lose her so quickly? Get real. They're just walking. It's not like she took off running. He unfortunately found out the hard way that she's a spitter. She hawked blood right all over his face. Nasty. Women just have no respect for boundaries. Him getting hoisted up by the pitchfork, I thought that was awesome. I loved that visual. And then I really wanted Glenn, the dad, the doctor, whatever you call him, Glenn. I wanted him to ejectocito cuz to Quinn when she made that rude comment about how long ago the 80s were and that they're as far away from her as the 40s were to him. Like, shut up, woman. Listen, calling animal control to remove a dead animal, that's weak behavior. It's dead. Handle it yourself. Be a man. Panthers wide receiver Xavier Legette, he would have cooked that coon. He's talking about he likes to eat them, and you got to have someone else come in and remove it.
It's Legette? That's how you said that? I've always said it was Leggett for my entire life. It's Legette?
There's an E.
You know how I say it?
It's a French? It's a French?
You know how I say it?
Bad at football?
Bad at football. That's how I fucking say it. Congrats on being a fun character. He stinks.
That's funny that you said that because I was literally about to say before you start talking, I pronounce it bum. I think that Jameis is never getting a starting job again. I think him and Jameis just need to have a podcast because they're both hilarious. Anyway, way off topic. Side note here, Aaron Abrams, who plays Glenn, he reminds me of Scott Bakula or Bakula. Like, they could play father-son in a movie, and I would believe it. They just have similar facial features. Anyway, I hate the generic conversation from Rust as he walks through school. Not everyone's a redneck. Be careful who you hang out with. That's just not good. That's terrible. I also hated how the teacher was a typical a-hole teacher with a class full of students who hate him. It's just generic. We've seen it time in, time out. Like, stop. I do like that they don't go the typical route of everyone hating the new kid. But that's kind of refreshing. That's something that has been beaten to death. So they went a different route. Kudos for that. First watch through, I hated the waitress. Like her mean mugging Quinn like that at the diner. But later in the movie, it makes sense. So I'm okay with it. But my first watch through, I remember in the theater, I was like, well, that was stupid. But it makes sense. Shout out to Will Sasso. Big fan of him, like we've already said. Incredible impressions of wrestlers and a lot of other people. But this is a decent enough open.
You know, I felt like your Scott Bakula comparison was a bit of a quantum leap.
I remember him from Major League Back to the Minors. Terrible movie.
Quinn meets up with them being told to avoid the sheriff and asks if she has a fake ID. Matt and Tucker say they got this as they enter the liquor store. The two begin to squabble, causing a distraction so the others can take beer and liquor. Tucker likes grandmas. Wonder what my co-hosts have to say about this. Later that night, they're consuming alcoholic beverages as they bull jive around the fire. Matt leaves to go pee as Quinn asks about the factory being burned down. Cole says they sneaked in to film a video, but they didn't start the fire. Quinn asks if they're being set up. Matt screams as he comes back to the group with his intestines hanging out and falls over. Friendo appears, scaring the shit out of Quinn as we see she got for the channel. Cole and Quinn seem to be getting close as they begin to chat about what's next for their lives. Cole wants to burn the whole town to the ground, and she jokes he's halfway done. Quinn reveals her mother died of overdose the past summer and it gets heavy, but she calms it all down, explaining that's why they moved here. Cole reveals his younger sister died last summer too. Bad jump into the water below. The two trauma bond until Janet interrupts, saying they have to finish the video. Cole drives Quinn home and the two make out passionately. Shout out Quinn initiating the kiss. Ladies, we love that. Until Dr. Dad cockblocks scolding his daughter. He tells Cole he'll never see his daughter again and sends Cole away. Quinn snaps on Dad when they get inside somehow, blaming him for the move unnecessarily in the situation. She storms upstairs and jumps in bed. She sees the video from earlier and sees another friendo in the background. We're at Tucker's now, who is playing the drums and sees the message in the group chat. He now sees a video of the clown outside his front door. He grabs a Nerf gun and is ready for prank wars. He looks through the house calling Cole's name. Tucker finds plastic sheeting on his bedroom floor, Dexter vibes, but no one in the closet. He finds the wind-up box, though, as Friendo appears behind him, slashing his throat. He then wraps the plastic around his face and smothering him. This movie is not very... it doesn't go against the grain of the black character getting killed quick, but that's the next set of scenes. Go ahead.
A little fun fact right off the rip, the store clerk is not actually our own beloved Nico Chin. No, he's actually played by Alan Castanago. He mostly does stunts. He's actually in this year's Silent Night, Deadly Night remake, for what it's worth there. I didn't even know that they were remaking that, but here we are. Decent little ploy there for the booze. And I mean, again, small town clerk doesn't know every single one of them and know who stole the booze. But okay. Also, did you see that 20 that Cole put down? That thing looked like it was from 1985. Like, that seemed kind of odd to me. Like, I don't know. Oh, the group scene kind of feels like a little bit Lost Boyish to me. I don't know if it did to anybody else, but that's not a bad thing. And another scene that felt like a little out of place was after that when Quinn gets home between she and her father. Like, it didn't feel tense like it kind of should have. I mean, it's not great review talk there, but it didn't feel like the emotions that were supposed to be being portrayed there. I just don't feel that history that they're supposed to be giving me. Maybe is a way for me to put it. I don't know. But Tucker's death was fine. By the way, I get the nod for his name to be Tucker with Tucker and Dale, but it doesn't fit A.O. Solanke. So sorry. Seemed to see the odd name choice there. But why was that house empty in the middle of the week? Like, where are his parents? Like, it seems a little convenient, but okay. Nico put it in the scene breakdown. Definitely felt very Dexter-ish with the plastic. But good on Friendo there. Very convenient cleanup. Nice throat/kill. I added it to my list of best kills for the movie for sure. That's all I have.
Look, I will again. This movie highlights the worst out of its generations every single time, and so this group of teens really sucks. Outside of the few characters that I highlighted that I think are decent characters as far as depth, but they just they're corny in a town that's boring as hell. And look, I lived in a small town, grew up in a small town. You get bored, you party, you do dumb shit, you play jackass with your friends. Like, that's the kind of shit that you do when you grow up in a small town. You ain't got nothing fucking to do. So I get it. But this is doing it to other people. And that's annoying then, and it's annoying now. But anyway, and right off the bat, you can tell that Nico's kinfolk here behind the counter, he don't want to deal with this shit, man. He's just trying to go to work, sell shit out of the store, and be left alone. And here comes this group of assholes trying to steal liquor. They would have been better off being like, hey, man, will you just sell me a fucking 40 of malt? And he'd be like, yeah, man, go ahead. A little Steel Reserve, something cheap, something easy that no one would miss, something like that. Just annoying fucking pranksters, in my opinion. Now, Quinn, zero issue getting acclimated to this guy, right? I mean, we're already trying to grab the wiener. I mean, what are we doing here? As my man Dustin Nico would say, she's for the streets. This is bad representation for Miss Quinn here. We just moved here.
That's women. That's women. They're forward. They're evil.
Fucking making out on day one or day two. Good night almighty. All right, good for you, Quinn. Hey, she's in control of her own destiny. What can I say? Look, I know it's one of these things, and when you get into the father-daughter spat, which I do feel like gives the movie a little bit of heart, their relationship, I think is good. It's well written for the most part. But, yeah, I know she didn't have a say in the move, but since she was 1 year away from graduation, isn't there anything the dad could have done to keep her in Philly for a year and then let her graduate with all her friends and keep her there? Like, I know he needed to move on, his wife passed and stuff like that, but anyway, I don't know. Topanga let her parents move to Pittsburgh and stayed in Philadelphia, and that worked out great. They got married, lived happily ever after, had a bad spinoff called Girl Meets World. So what can you do? I do love the look of this clown mask. I stand on that. I love Friendo, the look of Friendo. I think it's a very easily copyable character that you can keep going. It's like Ghostface. Like, there's only so many clown looks that you can have in the first place, and I think they do a pretty good job here. Something about it being that generic works for me. I think there's a great shot through the Ring camera on the phone. I think that's a good look. And you mentioned the neck kill. Awesome kill. Great neck slash. I think it looked really well. Really good, really well. I don't fucking know. Whatever George Feeney taught me.
I don't have much here, but just more terrible dialogue outside the diner when she goes outside. Come on, write it better. Write it how people would actually talk in that situation. But I thought their plan was hilarious. Like, it's definitely one of the better plans that we've seen in the movie as far as distracting the clerk to steal liquor. Now, Mike, you mentioned Steel Reserve. I would rather just not drink if Steel Reserve is the only option. But I draw the line in their funny plan when they smash the shelves up. Like, when you start damaging property, that's when I draw the line. Like, it's all harmless when you're just saying, oh, you knocked up my grandma, but come on. Good fake out with the piss kill swerve. Got me the first time for sure, not going to lie. Then I loved Glenn breaking up the kiss. Like, that was very realistic dad stuff to me. Just pissed. I don't want to hear it. Get in. Oh, and you've been drinking. Get your ass inside. I thought that was good. Elite spin move by Quinn to turn the tables and put everything back around on Pops. Oh my God, I took notes. You got to play victim. You got to gaslight. Like, no. I'm the one that should be mad. That was great stuff. Love that. Last thing I got is at Tucker's house, luring a victim upstairs by flushing the toilet. That was so funny to me. Like, you flushed a toilet. That's good stuff. Go ahead.
We're at Arthur Hill's house now as he gets scolded for gaining some pounds in his sporty coat not fitting. Cole is told Mr. Burns' brother committed suicide after he lost his job at the factory. He's guilt-tripped by Dad until Mom says it's no one's fault. We're at the Founders Day parade as Arthur addresses the townsfolk. The parade ensues as the friends all connect. Quinn calls Rust off. They think he may be the mystery friendo. Cole appears and asks if they've heard from Tucker. The two girls leave as Cole has Quinn go on his shoulders to see better. He invites her to his party and says he'll be there at 10. A Speedo wearing clown on a unicycle juggles ablaze balls as he's confronted by the cops. He fucks up by tossing a fireball onto a float that ignites it, causing a ruckus. The sheriff detains it with no cause. Hell yeah, brother. Fuck them kids. Crazy Ralph Cornfield edition in the cell tells them they're dead. Never fuck with friendo. Later on, they're quiet in the cell as they're let free. Dr. Dad is waiting on Quinn and confronts her hanging out with Cole. She says the old people in this town are fucked up, and he tells her to take responsibility and grounds her. They get into her car that he got her as a surprise. That's a stick shift that he planned on teaching her how to drive. We're at Matt's garage as he pumps irons and drink brews. Hell yeah, brother. He hears something weird as he finds a wind-up box. He tosses it and goes back to the bench. Friendo appears and grabs the bar and pushes it down with a hacksaw clutched in hand. It cuts his head off and it flies into the cooler. Unrealistic, perhaps, but cool kill to me. Back to Quinn, who is in bed listening to music as she gets a text from Cole if she's going to the party. She can't, but he says he's outside waiting for her. Quinn finds Dr. Dad slumped in the chair, big mood, and she covers him in a blanket and sneaks out. Cole slams brakes, avoiding running over Russ, who is carrying a whole-ass deer in his arms like a kitten. Tense between Cole and Russ as he invites him to the hoedown. Russ reveals Cole does Backstreet Boys like dance moves in the mirror as he drives away. The two make it to the party as she asks to see the dance moves. He assures her they're safe and they won't get arrested. And that's the next set of scenes. Go ahead.
All right, Kevin Durant back again on the show. You guys mentioned him. I love that guy. Listen to Abigail review. Don'tGoOutThere.com. Something, though, that I feel like I would have liked to have maybe seen more of is that fractured relationship with he and Cole. I mean, they don't feel at odds like they should be here, and this weight of Cole's sister dying feels almost throwaway. So, I mean, spoiler. When we get to that twist later on, which really didn't feel like much of one. But when we get that later on, it doesn't feel like someone who lost a daughter and then blames his son for it. Just my opinion. This should have been a setup for that, and just to me, it fell short. The parade felt a little like I Know What You Did Last Summer or even Thanksgiving, but I wonder if we would have gotten a better atmosphere feeling had this maybe been at night or even dusk. And I didn't like just the passing mention of Tucker. Like, did his parents not come home and wonder where he was? Or I know he cleaned up, but did he find any blood spatter or just anything? I don't know. It just kind of seems thrown to the wayside and rushed by. It's also kind of funny that there's like 14 people on the street for this parade because this town's so small, but yet Quinn has to get on Cole's shoulders to get a better view. I see what you're doing there. And how are the kids arrested when it was clearly a clown everyone saw? None of them were that clown. And all of these kids get released from the jail right afterwards for no reason. And by the way, only Quinn's dad is waiting for them. Like, I mean, Cole's dad's literally, what is he, the mayor of this place? And how did they get released? Did Quinn's dad pay the bail for all of them? And was there even a bail? I don't know. I have questions here. Working out, then literally chugging a beer in between sets. The good old days. I don't even know what to say about that. What's this kid's name? Matt? That's another thing. Like, besides Quinn and Cole, I have zero connection to any of this friend group. I don't barely know their names. Like, I've seen this twice now, and I'm not even sure that is the guy's name as I'm talking right now. I'll give it props, though. It really did look like he was lifting 225. And I'm glad that it was a normal weight and not some, like, lunacy that we've pointed out in the past with people lifting weights. The beer, that's lunacy. And this kind of being broad daylight and popping someone's head off, like, that's sheer lunacy. But again, I'll forgive it because of what kind of movie this is here. Also, we see the room in that garage. You don't see a dude in a clown suit walking into the garage. I mean, do you have zero perif? Like, I don't know. I kind of hate the whole kill too. It almost felt like it was added in later, like after the movie. They were like, oh, we need some more kills. Let's just throw this in there. It just seemed forced. I don't know that for sure. It just felt that way. The weight scene did remind me a little bit of Nightmare 4, though. Nice callback. If that's the case, I don't know. And I did think I saw somewhere that it's an homage to Happy Birthday to Me from 1981, but I haven't personally seen that one because I was not alive, by the way. Go ahead.
Are you sure about that? You sure you weren't? Okay. All right. If you say so, man. Anyway, Kevin Durant back at it again, and I already kind of mentioned my favorite role of his, which is Proximus Caesar. Shout out to Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I know Dustin really liked that movie as well. I'm personally a fan of Small Town USA, and I actually kind of like this Fountain Parade. This should be, very similar to the town I grew up in there in Lake Wells, Florida. Hey, man, I know it's boring to some, but it's charming to me, so that's all I can say. This unicycle shit ain't funny, man. It's lame. And see, Brian, I took this as they had one of their friends dress up as a clown, and let's say that wasn't the case. Then the parents, we know, spoiler for everyone that hasn't seen the film, the parents and the adults are the ones behind the clown killings in the first place. So, of course, they're going to throw their ass in jail to fuck with them and taunt them. And, yeah, of course, Cole's dad is behind all that. He's behind the whole thing. Apparently, he hates his son. So, there you go. I think that either way you look at it, I think it makes a little more sense. If I'm going off them being annoying pranksters, though, I don't feel bad for them being in this cell. This friend group has annoyed the piss out of me. I can't lie. Maybe I am officially entering Brian territory with get off my fucking lawn. That's where I'm at. I have to officially go. I'm not even a dad yet, and I got to go into that territory. I ain't got kids. Quinn's dad is right to be skeptical of this group, man. She's been there for 2 days, has already had her ass thrown in the brig. Nah, man. She's making out with one. She's been in jail. This is just ridiculous behavior shown by Quinn here. That's all I'm saying. Man, you know the saying, don't be a dick, learn to drive stick. So there you go. I don't think the bench press looked as good as you did, Brian. I can't lie. Maybe as someone who kind of works out a lot, like I don't know. Not that kid couldn't lift.
I mean, okay. Like the form obviously was awful. Like I get that. I give you that. 100%. But it really looked like the actor was for real lifting those weights.
Sure. Here's a misnomer as well. Flat back bench is not even the most productive form of bench, but he had his back way too far up off the bench. You got him a little arch. A little arch is good for you. It's actually better support. But that was god awful. I'm sorry, I couldn't help it. I do like this kill, though. I think it's a creative kill, no matter how unrealistic the whole thing is. Like you mentioned, broad daylight, wouldn't notice the clown wearing the gloves. But I think it's a creative kill to put, like a hacksaw on a barbell and slice a guy's head off. I think it was great. By the way, Jalen Hurts just scored. Great kill, very creative, and I enjoyed that. And, look, this dude Cole is kind of lame acting, though. Not even sure why Quinn is into him. I know that she's lonely and going through a lot, but I don't know. I think now they feel like they're trauma bonded, because they had that little chat around the fire earlier. I don't know, man. Anyway, but what I will say is this comment from Russ was interesting, and now it's pretty clear that Cole is hiding something, and it didn't take long. I think I texted you guys I texted the group while I was watching this movie the first time over the summer and said, are these two gay? and you guys were like, and I was like, you can spoil it. It's okay. They're clearly in a homosexual relationship, which is totally fine. Just interesting. Wasn't expecting that out of a stereotypical slasher is all.
Something that bothers me about this movie is how many accents there are in this town. Like we meet Kevin Durant's character and him and his wife and the sheriff. They sound like they're from the deep South. And then just a lot of other characters just sound Midwestern. It's just inconsistent. I don't understand that. Anyway, there's no way the cop thought the kids caused that ruckus and locked them up for that. Like, I hated that. Even if the cop and the adults have a vendetta against the kids, there are too many witnesses that aren't in on the ruse that saw what happened and saw that they had nothing to do with it. I don't buy that. I also hated that Glenn just refused to hear Quinn out when he grounded her. And I hate how she just throws F-bombs out willy-nilly to her dad. I cannot fathom talking to my parents like kids in movies do. This isn't the only time we've seen it, but it's just wild to me. I would be wearing my ass as a hat, as my dad used to say. The bench press hacksaw decapitation with the head into the cooler like Steph Curry from 3, that combo was outrageous. I can't decide if I hate it or if I love it. There is no shot that a hacksaw blade would cut a human head off that smoothly, that quickly. But it was a creative kill. I don't think the head necessarily looked great, but bouncing in the cooler was funny. I don't know. If you're not trying to take yourself seriously, which this movie's not most of the time, I can forgive it and I like it. Rust randomly being in the middle of the road with a dead deer. Come on. Come on. What are we doing? But we're moving along. Scene 4.
Oh, now I finally get it when you guys make fun of me doing it. No, it's fucking. It is funny. It is funny.
They enter the barn and the vibes are immaculate. Ronnie gives them moonshine shots as Janet seems to be hating. They wonder where Matt and Tucker are, still not heard from them. DJ greets the crowd and invites Cole to the stage to speak as they say they're the future as Quinn swoons him. Quinn joins him and the two start dancing. She sees Rust in the crowd and she's aching for a quaking and takes him outside into another shed. She kisses him, lays him down, and mounts him, but the moment is too big and Cole pisses down his leg. Quinn feels stupid and goes to walk away, and he says he's got a lot going on inside, and she leaves him saying, "Come find me when you get it figured out." Ronnie and Janet say Cole rejects everyone, and they start squabbling until a girl screams, exiting the cornfield, and falls over. We see an arrow in her back, and they blame Matt and Tucker. They approach her, and then a head is tossed at them. Quinn reveals that it's a real head, and panic ensues after they joke around, but not Quinn, because she can't find a pulse. Friendo emerges from the cornfield and starts shooting the crossbow at folks. The three get locked out of the barn and run back, but Russ shotguns Friendo. They have no service, and all the vehicles got slashed tires and jacked batteries. Very convenient. More Friendos appear, and it's not looking good. Russ shoots one of the clown's hands off, and Cole saves Quinn as they take off running. They make it to the shed as we cut to the doctor dad finding Quinn gone. Fucking teenagers. They're surrounded, and Ronnie is crashing out. They begin to break down the walls of the shed, and Russ and Cole begin to crash out, and it's revealed that Cole is gay. No wonder he didn't want to hook up with Quinn. Quinn finds a hole in the ground they can sneak out. Russ thinks of a plan to distract them so they can escape. Doctor stops and sees his practice has been broken into and investigates. Friendo holds him hostage and tells him to work on other Friendo's damaged hand. Save him or your daughter dies. The three ladies sneak out as the boys rig the lawnmower up as a bomb trap. The lawnmower drives towards the clowns as it blows up the shed and they escape. They have to cut through the cornfield to the Tillerson's house and leave Russ behind for now. That's the next set of scenes. Brian, go ahead.
Where are all these kids' parents? Clearly everyone's parents aren't working at night, which may have been some sort of better explanation, but it makes no sense. This is a full-blown college frat party with probably every teenager in the entire town based on how small it is. And, all right, look, again, you just mentioned it. I get what the movie is. Just got to point that stuff out because this is Don't Go Out There. It's a professional podcasting service. Now, I did like the twist with Cole and not being interested in Quinn in that way, and the girls filling in a little bit more info on him, without knowing what's going on with him yet. It's clearly a red herring, especially when he talks about all the built-up stuff inside. Just was different stuff, apparently. But it's almost too much of a red herring either way. I don't know. Either way, it would have been fine if he was just the killer, too, honestly. I don't really think it mattered that much who the killer was, in my opinion. Now, Quinn trying to fight Janet, again, I had to look her up. I didn't remember her name. But her fighting her didn't really feel like, why? All she said was hey, it's happened to all of us. Basically, I don't know, felt out of place to me. Why would you fight her? And the whole fake head stuff, here, to me, I do think the fake head looked great. But, probably by then there wouldn't be that much blood, if you want to get technical, to get everywhere. And the whole back and forth with the friendo, I didn't care for. None of the friend groups seemed like they were really in peril. You know what I mean? The whole time. It almost seemed like acting in a comedy. And when I say that, I don't mean it was goofy. It was just it didn't feel like they were really running from someone for their life. So, in that case, I don't think the movie could decide what it was, if that makes sense. Also, I know it's plot armor, but if you really wanted to dispatch these kids, you for real wanted to kill them, and you had this many people in friendo costumes, nobody wanted to just use a gun and get it over with? Especially when our friend group has a shotgun. I'm just saying, you must not have really wanted to get the job done is all. Also, Rust is dead, by the way. He is dead with that explosion. No chance. But hey, maybe he got underground first. I don't know. But that's all I have.
Hey, no one said the slashers had to be realistic. God, man. It's not like the shape is just appearing out of nowhere for real. Or maybe he is. I don't know. Shout out to my man Michael Myers. It's his month. Anyway, sorry, I lost my place in my notes. Okay, so this party looks badass. I can't lie. Okay, it reminds me of our Shriners Ball party back home. And like I mentioned at the top, when you live in these small towns, these kind of events are kind of what it's all about. There's nothing else to do. Throw a fucking cool-ass high school party, which I've said, man, this may be the second time in the last few weeks I've mentioned that I miss a good house party. Not the Diddy kind from The Watch, but the good kind, the fun kind. You know, not the kind from that movie, but the kind from this movie that looks pretty fun. But anyway, again, she's quick to move on my man Cole. Quinn is really trying to get some. I mean, what day is this? Day 4? Day 3? Day 4? I mean, this is fast moving, man. I mean, I guess sometimes you got to be the aggressor. But for a minute, I thought they were going to have this like weird story where he had a hard time getting it up. Nah, of course, we all knew what the deal was there and why he's rejecting her. He doesn't get down like that for girls, and that's okay. But it's definitely not anyone's place to get that out of him till he's ready. Just throwing that out there. But these group of women, which I know Dustin's about to appreciate this. This group of women or women are dog shit. They knew what the deal with Cole was and let Quinn go through with coming on to him and shit anyways. That is some vicious shit right there. Why wouldn't you warn her, let her know so she doesn't embarrass herself?
I know the answer why they wouldn't. I've said it once, I've said it 100 times. Women are bad people.
I mean, think about this. Us as buds would be like, hey, man, you might want to watch out for her. I mean, I was kind of with her before, and you're a little funky. Like you look out for your bros, man. You can't just like let her fall in on her face and have a terrible time. That's fucked up, man. These women are terrible. I will say, I like this fake out. It's not well acted, but I like this idea that they still think it's a prank. And I think that was, like Dustin mentioned at the top of the show, this is where the movie starts to get a lot of fun. Like, it really starts to become fun because not only are we getting that, we're getting a severed head thrown around like, ha, it's a props department that we know these pranksters don't have a props department. So I don't know what they were thinking, but I think that's what kind of makes it a lot of fun. So I like that scene. And this is where everything starts to pick up. Love the shot of the clown with the chainsaw and all the clowns kind of running together. I think that's awesome. I will say there was a moment where I'm like, oh no, is Russ one of the clowns? Because he just kind of showed up out of nowhere. Super random, super weird time. I know he's trying to like get back with Cole or whatever he's doing. But anyway, just looked a little suspicious at the time. Quinn's dad cracked me up here when he goes to apologize to her upstairs and shouts out fucking teenagers. That shit cracked me up because, yeah, man, fucking teenagers. Having been one before, we definitely sucked then. So, I will say we get a glimpse of who Cole truly is. They try to, or you know what? Just scratch that line. Just know they're laying the groundwork for those two being lovers. Okay, that's all you need to know. It's pretty clear. It's pretty obvious here. I will say one of the smartest things the clowns did is capturing the doctor in town. That's pretty smart. Kind of kidnapping him, make him sew one up. That's a pretty smart deal by the group of clowns. I thought that was a good idea. One of the only good ideas they had, because they totally just could have murdered everybody and decided to capture him and play a little game instead. I hate that kind of stuff. I will say, as schlocky and, cheap slashery as this is, the explosion in the barn there was a little much. All right, like, come on. How you doing that? Why are you doing that? Right? Like, I don't know. Anyway, that's all I had.
I really don't like the cheesy and generic party scene to begin with here. Because you got the generic cheesy speech from the host of the party. I don't like it. I've been to hundreds, thousands of parties, house parties, whatever. I've never once had everyone stop so someone could make a speech.
I agree with you on that.
Shut up.
I agree with you on that. That was bad.
And then as soon as Buddy turned Quinn down, I knew where that was headed. Like, let's be serious. Come on. The head flying in and them thinking it was fake, that was hilarious. And throwing it around, that got some laughs out of me, especially when they realized, oh my God, it was a real head. Then the clown coming out of the cornfield with those squeaky shoes, that's outrageous. Like, the clown coming out of the corn that's a scary sight. But the squeaky shoes is just like, and
Hey.
then boom, he Daryl Dixon old boy right in the face with that crossbow. I appreciate Russ saying, take the mask off. Like, movies don't do that enough. Too many times they'll, subdue the antagonist, if not kill them, and they just never find out who it is. Like, they don't care who it was. But I like that he at least mentioned. They weren't successful, but I like that it was mentioned. Then we get a huge development. That's not just one friendo. Whole gaggle of clowns showed up. But then, Rust, my truck was locked. That's why the clowns who slashed everyone's tires and are trying to kill us couldn't get it. They draw the line at smashing windows. All right. Okay. Be real. The clown hiding in the shadows at Dr. Glenn's office, that was insane to me. Mike, you said it was a good idea, but come on, what was the plan if Glenn hadn't drove by? Like, what if he just didn't wake up? He would have never known his daughter was missing. He would have never gone out of the house. Let's just break in and hide in the shadows and let Buddy bleed out. That was kind of stupid. Not stupid. Like, it's a good plan because it worked out, but they should have at least had eyes on Doc Glenn and known that he was heading into town and about to drive by. I don't know. It's too convenient. But at least we get again, difference of opinion, Mike, an awesome explosion to end the set of scenes. I thought the explosion looked good, but also, like, that's a good diversion tactic. Let's blow it up, especially if there's a drain underneath I can crawl through. I'll be safe. But after the explosion, how did the clowns not see or hear the other four? They're like 30 feet away.
Yeah, they're like right there.
Come on.
They make it into the cornfield as Doctor removes the lead from the hand wound. He tells Friendo he's saline or he's going to die. Doctor's plotting as the kids keep up walking through the field. They make it to the road and it's the sheriff. He holds them at gunpoint and tells them to back up. They try to explain, but he arrests Cole. He doesn't believe them, thinking they're making an internet video. Ronnie begs to be arrested too and leaves the ladies to themselves. They run back into the field to the Tillerson's house, but of course, more Friendo action who chases them with a chainsaw. We get some impressive fast action chase scenes until another Friendo appears. They stop and hide quietly until another Friendo appears covering Quinn's mouth. They panic and run off after she bashes him in the face with a rock. Ronnie is killed Randy Orton style out of nowhere with a chainsaw, conveniently, didn't hear it. Janet and Quinn make it to the Tillerson house and no answer. They enter the home and find a Friendo in the chair dead. They hear a phone ring and run to it. They miss the call and then they don't know how to use the rotary phone. Darn kids. They see their pictures on the wall with pictures of Friendo and newspaper clippings. They hear the wind-up box and realize it's a trap. Well, Friendo wasn't dead in the chair and he stabs Janet with a pitchfork in the gut and presses her into the ceiling. She asks if it's bad and cries out that she doesn't want to die. Quinn pulls the pitchfork out, killing Friendo, and they both say they hate her. She gets keys to a truck to flee as we cut to the doctor where the patient flatlines. Doctor tricks the other Friendo and stabs him in the neck. He doesn't listen to Doctor and he removes a knife and begins bleeding out immediately. Doctor hears over the radio how tough Quinn is and where they're meeting at. Basement of the factory. That's in the next set of scene. Brian, go ahead.
Again, I have to just call this out. As this foursome walk through the cornstalk, no chance that they just went through what they went through. They're too nonchalant. And I mean, no, I don't expect some sort of Oscar-worthy performance or anything, but I don't know, it just wasn't for me. And I love Will Sasso, and we've talked great about him. I'm just going to say he's not a very good bad guy.
No.
Like, I don't know. I love him too much for him to be a bad guy. Anyway, maybe it's just my personal opinion. And it made for kind of a funny visual with them covering each other's mouth and then, Friendo covering Quinn's at the very end. But again, having zero situational awareness. I mean, like, gee, I don't know. The old dude must not have had those squeaky clown shoes that the other ones had on, I guess. Ninja Friendo. I mean, how do you run right into, by the way, a running loud-ass chainsaw? Also, one of those instant start chainsaws that we've seen in the past. Cool kill, though. I will give it that. Although when Ronnie hits the ground after being run through, you can clearly see that Friendo put the chainsaw behind her body to kind of give the illusion of it being in her stomach. I caught that on the second watch through, and the whole twitching was a little overdone in my opinion there too, but I'm just being nitpicky. I did laugh a little bit here at not being able to use the rotary phone because, and I didn't mention it, but the driving stick joke earlier, it's very realistic as hell, and I definitely get that. I kind of want to give my son a rotary phone and see if he can dial a number. Kind of made me want to do that. Besides movies, that's even after me. Like, had my grandma not had one and showed me how to use it when I was a kid, I would have no idea how to use it either. And I feel like I just set myself up with that information, but we'll see. The Janet pitchfork kill I thought was good. Besides Crazies, I don't know the last time that we've seen a pitchfork one. Walking Dead, maybe? I don't know. Also, at this point, the I hate you, as she and the friendo die next to each other, I thought was a pretty good gag as well. Doc stabbing the friendo in the neck, I thought was another great kill as well. A lot of good kills in this set of scenes. Especially that one where you remove the knife and then having the blood shoot everywhere. Good set of scenes.
Yeah, so most killer clowns are kind of quiet, not Pennywise, but I feel like Art, and there's other ones too. I'm just not like a big killer clown guy, but this kind of like silent masked slasher would have made a lot of sense. But I think they're definitely letting us know that these are people that we've met before by having them talk to the doctor here. Like, they're definitely speaking clowns, which I actually kind of like. I will say the way the sheriff acts here, shout out to Will Sasso. I actually disagree. It was kind of fun to see him play this asshole a little bit. Not that he's bad or good. It's just like kind of fun to see the different side of him, I guess. Again, I don't want to see it all the time, but if he came out as a heel at a wrestling promo, he could probably cut a really good heel promo, man. I think he could. I mean, he wrestled a match on Nitro. I never wrestled a match on Nitro. Shout out to Will Sasso. Anyway, but he was a dead giveaway here as far as what he's up to, right? I mean, the way he acted, just arresting Cole like this for really no fucking reason, just was a dead giveaway of what's likely going on here. It's just, I don't know. He's, you kind of start to do process of elimination. He's at least one of these clowns for sure by the way he acts. And once you kind of figure that out, you can start to kind of piece things together that, these pissed off adults in the town are kind of what I think the clowns are. The first time I saw it, I was like, I think I might know who the rest of these clowns are. And I was right. So anyway, some of the shots of them in the cornfields are great. The chainsaw is a fun weapon of choice. I feel like some of the chase scenes, I have a complaint about this all the time. So you're just going to have to deal with it because that's the way I am. I feel like this chase scene went on a little too long. The chase part anyways. Now, finally get a good fucking kill, right? I mean, again, the kill of, the pitchfork kill, I think is great. As far as, like I mentioned back when we did the Crazies, and there's another movie too that we've done since then. I just don't know what the fuck it is because CTE, like everybody else on this show, I love a good pitchfork kill. Underutilized weapon, like I talked about all the way back on our Crazies episode. Completely underutilized. Just a good fucking kill. I liked it. Electric bang stick kill or whatever the fuck a cattle prod, whatever the fuck. I like that. Super great. Thought it was awesome. And again, this rotary phone thing is funny. I am interested now that you said that, Brian, because maybe you're right. Maybe it is that ancient. Because, I never had a rotary phone. But in my house, I knew how to work a rotary phone, though, because my mom used to have one in her office at work. It's like I knew how to work one. But maybe you're right. Maybe this generation would be that fucking, how the fuck do I dial out here? Never would have thought about that. I mean, the numbers are on the circle. It's not that hard. But anyway, okay. That's all I have.
Yeah, why in God's name did these idiot teens start walking at a snail's pace? They were running last time we saw them. Then we cut to the dock, and then they're barely walking. Like, they're barely moving. Have some urgency, morons. Like, people are killing you or trying to kill you. Probably wouldn't have had that run-in with the sheriff if they had ran. The clown covering Quinn's mouth, that was one of the most memorable spots from the movie. So dumb, yet so good. Chainsaw through the torso and showering Janet with blood, that was awesome. But I agree, Brian, not believable. How do you not hear a chainsaw? And how does he, if it wasn't running, how do he crank it so quickly? The funniest part of the movie to me was Quinn and Janet not being able to make a call because of the rotary phone. My great-grandmother had one when I was growing up, and so I've known how to use one since I was a kid, but yeah, that's funny. Janet saying, "I hate you, Quinn," and then Friendo saying, "Me too." That was another funny moment. I like that. Like, if you're going to be silly. That's good stuff. Last thing I got here, it's very convenient that Dr. Glenn just happened to turn on the radio right as they said where they were heading. I didn't love that. things happen, you get lucky, but there's just way too many conveniences for me to not call them out in this movie.
Quinn gets in the truck and, of course, stick shift. She hears a chainsaw and sees another friendo. She tries to drive, but it's no working, and she crashes out as she's surrounded by friendos. She's grabbed from behind and wakes up being dragged around the factory basement. We see a chunky friendo, and it's the sheriff, of course. The others reveal themselves, and it's the liquor store guy, the waitress, and the teacher. Sheriff shocks her with a cattle prod after her bad language. Arthur reveals himself looking like the Joker that he's in on it too. He disowns Cole as she begs to be let go. Arthur says we got a bad crop every couple generations and has Sheriff prod her again. Arthur reveals they kill off the ones they don't like. He says Quinn's generation is the worst of them all. We see Cole with a noose around his neck on top of a car. He blames Cole for killing his sister and he's a bad seed. Arthur has Cole's suicide all planned out as he gets the gag out of his mouth. He says they suck and their generation will be the one who brings change. Sheriff goes to shoot Quinn until Dr. Dad drives through the wall, killing liquor store man, waitress lady, and the teacher is ticked off. He cranks the chainsaw up but is knocked over by Dad's car door. Quinn escapes and hides in a room full of friendo figures. Arthur attacks the doctor and goes to Cole. Arthur tries to move the car so Cole would die from his hanging. Sheriff makes it into the room with Quinn but can't find her. He finds blood on the floor and shoots the wrong figure. She reveals herself and shoves the prod down his throat, killing him. I'm not a fucking sweetheart, she yells at him. Brian's next set of scenes, and the next set is the ending.
Yes, I seen a sixer.
Ticked off. But it's no working.
Is it a scene six?
I seen a sixer.
Okay. Okay, why did they need this big reveal in the basement? I mean, they've been trying to kill Quinn this whole time, along with everyone else. So there's no big connection with Quinn, like at all, to the killer. So therefore, there's no need to bring her to the basement to show her who you are and have this big, like, aha moment, right? I mean, had her dad been the killer, okay, I get it. But Final Girl or not, I mean, she's pretty much a throwaway character in the grand scheme of things with no connections here. Unless there's something else in the books coming up or whatever, I don't know. But I mean, if they worship this friendo clown demon and like they needed her to sacrifice at the end here or something, I get that. But what we get here makes no sense to me. Cole, I get. Her? Why didn't they just kill her in the truck when they got her? I mean, technically, they just brought her here to shoot anyway, when Will Sasso also, by the way, doesn't take care of business and wants to delay waiting on someone to save her. But I don't know. Anyway, good effects with the one friendo being impaled by a pipe, and that sounded dirtier than a minute. And Sasso's death was good with that cattle prod. I mean, with that death, I would have liked to have seen that scene go on a little bit longer and maybe in a room that was larger, because that room was so small, all Sasso had to do was walk in and shoot all the clown costumes with maybe like 2 shots with that shotgun, and you're good. You're dead. I don't know. I don't see the point. I'm still having fun, and although the ending is next, you can pretty much kind of see how it's going to play out the rest of the way, but it's still fun.
Actually, I haven't liked Quinn a ton this whole movie, so she gets a little redemption arc here. Not that she was doing anything wrong, per se, but I don't know. I feel like she was kind of purposefully antagonistic to her dad. Like Dustin mentioned, hey, man, you don't talk to your dad like that. That's crazy, man. Anyway, I don't know. But not the killing part. And I want to be very clear what I'm about to say. Not the killing part. If you remove these adults killing the teens, they brought some of these scaring the shit out of them things on themselves. I mean, if they were just like pulling a prank as the clowns, I think, hey, that's your own fault. You've been fucking putting everybody on blast on video for the last however many years. A little bit of your own medicine wouldn't have been bad, but then we went through the process of actually killing them in gruesome ways, like hacksaws and pitchforks and electricity and all these other things. So, I don't think they deserve that, but I think they deserve to get a little bit of a taste of their own medicine. They didn't have to go this far. That's all I'm saying. I will say the fact that they turned the camera around and one of the clowns is clearly heavy. I'm like, that's fucking Will Sasso. He's one of the clowns. Like, I don't want to be mean. I don't want to call Will Sasso overweight. I'm overweight. We're all a little overweight according to the government, so whatever. I will say, I think Kevin Durant is great here in his monologue about why they're doing this. However, I don't like the motive. I think the motive falls apart, and maybe the other books will explain it, and it'll make more sense. We talked ad nauseum about that. But the motive doesn't hold up when there's been generations of killings not done by them over the last 100 years. The hobo killings, the hippie killings, the ones in the 90s. Like, well, who did those? And I think they kind of like tried to loosely connect them that this is what our ancestors did. And it's like, well, you spent no time setting any of that up, which honestly, they would have been fine taking something from Children of the Corn here. God, I can't believe I just fucking said that out loud. But like having some kind of something to serve.
Yes.
Yeah, right. Like having some kind of like, we have to sacrifice 6 kids every 5 years at the festival, and this is the reason why. Like, at least there'd be a something there, a through line throughout.
Exactly.
Like, honestly, even Pennywise, who, we're getting, the Dairy prequel series. The reason for that is because Pennywise has been there the whole time, right? Or it has been there the whole time, and that's the reason this stuff keeps happening in Dairy. We don't get any of that here. We get new people picking up where this person left off 30 years ago, and they're like, and because they see the new kids or the new generation as a threat to the town, doesn't really work for me. And I will say this is a rant, so just bear with me. I'm sorry, but look, man, I appreciate them trying to add some depth to a clown slasher flick, okay? But this like generational divide, I know we do it on this show, but it's a bit on this show. Like, we're just fucking around with Brian. Pretty much we only do it to Brian. So there you go. But, him not knowing who Paul Wall was is a top 5 moment on the show. I will be honest with you. But anyway, this generational divide is super lame to me. This like, your generation's bad. No, your generation's bad. And it's like, we all kind of suck in our own way, and we're all kind of awesome in our own way. So like this idea that the reason is because they hate Gen Z, but Gen Z's, to quote The Offspring, the kids are all right. Or, I don't know, man. Well, that's not the actual quote, but you know what I mean. Look, man, this we good, you bad just isn't subtle. There's no subtext that they're layering in. They're just saying it out loud and in our face. And I just don't think the movie earned this kind of writing, man. Like, just have it be the parents. It was all fun, and now it's done. So I don't know, but whatever. Last thing I will say, how the hell, and I think Nico mentioned this, and maybe Dustin did too, he doesn't remember, on the instant reaction you guys did about how the hell did Cole not fall here? Like, there's no fucking way that Cole didn't fall. Man, especially once the car comes in. But anyway, great kill with the taser to the mouth. What a great fucking kill by Quinn. He probably RIP down in the Baja.
I will say couple things. Number one, at the beginning of the show, I said that this was the best movie with a clown antagonist in the last 15 years. I forgot it existed, apparently, in It Chapter 2.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say that because I think I knew what you meant. You meant slasher.
Well, no, I just wanted to take a shot at Terrifier and Hell House. But
you could
I'll save my own skin by saying that the antagonist technically wasn't a clown. It took the shape of a clown part of the time, but it is not necessarily a clown, so that doesn't count. Anyway, just wanted to take a shot at Terrifier. And also I'll say that my simple fix for what you guys are talking about, like why do they got to kill the kids? They kind of did, like the reason why he wanted to kill his own son, like he let his sister die. She drowned on his watch. So to me, all you have to do is have it be an old folk tale about there was a killer back in the 50s or whenever that dressed as a clown and killed a bunch of teenagers. So there's your reasoning for why they're dressed as clowns. And then have them only target Cole, but the other kids are collateral damage because they were with him and they saw the clown. They saw something happen. So now they're implicated. They got to take them out too. That's a simpler fix, simpler explanation than what we got. But
I still don't understand why they took Quinn hostage instead of just killing her earlier. Like,
yeah. But we see that a lot, though. There's so many movies. I mean, it's basically every movie.
I was about to say that's a complaint I have all the time.
Every movie.
Yeah.
Because in real life, if someone wants to kill you, they're not going to knock you out, hog tie you, wait for you to wake up, exposition dump, and then try to kill you. Like they're just, I caught him. Like Home Alone really should have been like a 10-minute long movie. But anyway.
I don't know, man. There was a guy one time that just wanted to have a couple brewskis.
Well, he wanted to eat them. He wanted to slow roast his meals. So, anyway, Quinn struggling with driving stick. That was another funny moment. Like, it's just more proof that the younger generation is cooked. And yeah, I sound like an old man on that, but can't use a rotary phone, can't drive stick, can't exist without Chat GPT turning us into a depleted wasteland. Like, it's just cooked. Zero shot that Friendo could punch through the back glass of that pickup that easily. Come on,
yes.
Man. Come on.
Yes.
I hated that. That's more unbelievable than the hacksaw cutting the head off.
You know how funny that would have been if he would have like hit it and just been like, ugh, and like couldn't get through it.
Like he tried to hit it and knocked himself out because his head hit it, and like that would have been much funnier. Because like car windows are very strong, very strong. Anyway, and the side windows are, they're not as strong as the windshield and the back glass. But the reveal of who all is behind this, it wasn't shocking to me. Like all the adults sucked this whole movie, and the sheriff being in on it, that was the least shocking revelation because we've seen how corrupt he's been. And, when he saw all the kids there and he just arrested Cole and blew them off, it's like, okay, he's definitely in on it. It really, really slows down here, though, with unnecessary drama that takes away from what makes this movie fun. Should have just cut several minutes from this set of scene. This is what I was talking about with your sandwich. Like the bread is just the bottom piece of bread in this case is just terrible. You're trying to do too much. Just throw some Sara Lee white bread on it and be done with it, and it's a fine sandwich. I was annoyed with more convenience here. The convenience of Glenn smashing through the factory when and where he did. Like, it was just perfect timing and just in the perfect spot so that Cole's feet could, dangle on top. And no, but it did give us a great kill with the head smash with that piece of ceiling structure or whatever that swung down and smashed Buddy's head against the wall. That was incredible.
Yeah.
This whole set of scenes to me, though, went on way too long, and I'm ready for the end.
All right, guys, here's the end. Cole tells Arthur he's going down no matter what. The truth comes out eventually. We find out Arthur burned the factory down for insurance money. The car is moved, and Cole is left hanging until Rust appears and shoots the rope that frees Cole. The two guys kiss as Quinn joins them. Such a confusing fucking night, she says, and I laughed at that. She hugs her dad and sees he got shot, but he's okay. The two agree to communicate better going forward. The four hobble out and get into the clown car. But, of course, it's another stick shift. But Pops gives her lessons and she runs over one last friendo, which covers the entire windshield in blood. They drive off and we see sometime in the future Doctor is running for mayor now. Quinn packs her car up and is heading to college. The two hug saying they love each other as Russ and Cole appear. She hugs them as Russ gives her a gift, a self-defense baton. She tells him she loves him and hugs them both. Quinn drives away but finds a wind-up box in the back seat. Didn't care for that. She grabs it and tosses out the window. It pops open as the film ends. Brian, that's the ending. What'd you think?
All right, look. If you're teaching someone to drive a stick shift, you can do the whole punch it thing. I mean, you're going to blow up your engine if you don't shift gears, but you could do it. But you've got to at least teach her to slowly release the clutch and give it gas. I mean, unless I missed it, she just knew how to do that. And then also somehow knew how to shift it to second gear as well. Mm-hmm. So that was ridiculous. Also, if we want to nitpick here, no way. Friendo, who was the teacher, right? That was Mr. Vern, I think, right there. No way he just explodes when they hit him. I mean, damn, that dude, they hit him. I mean, it was like they were going 200 miles an hour when they hit him. I don't know. Also, did I miss it? Like, what happened to Arthur? He was the great big bad friendo, right? I mean, did he die? Did I miss that somewhere?
Hold on. I have an answer, Brian. I have an answer. I was watching my guy Found Flicks this morning, and he grabs a screenshot just ever so quickly. He escapes off screen. Arthur, excuse me. He escapes off screen, so he actually gets away. And the rest of the film ignores that he gets away. So,
because there's a sequel.
There you go.
Yep.
Okay. Well, they could have played that up a little bit and showed us they fucking.
I agree.
Away, but all right.
I agree. They just left it out. Makes no sense.
Yeah, I didn't love the ending. I mean, maybe if I'd read the book this was based on, maybe it would make more sense. Like, it definitely leaves it open ended. We've talked about it. There's more books in this series. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense right here as a standalone movie. At least in Children of Corn, there was, like we talked about, a reason for sacrificing people. Here, I just don't really understand. So, to me, like, your whole reason for killing kids were because they were a new generation that wants to change things. I mean, like, unless you kill every kid, what are you changing? And why do you have the fucking kids if that was the case anyway? We've discussed this till we're blue in the face. That's just really all I had on the ending here. I just don't really care for it.
I will say, at least we finally got the answer to who burned down the factory. And you know what? Brian's been watching too, so maybe he saw this clip back when he watched WrestleMania 14. But all I could think of anytime someone burns down something now is Paul Bear. You burned the funeral home. Poor Lil Kane. Anyway, I can't.
Listen, I told Dustin this. What they did with his ashes was the worst storyline I've ever seen. Like, that was, I was like, oh my God, they gave him permission to do this with the ashes? That's crazy.
That's great.
That was an awesome angle. Awesome. Totally great. Especially with
sorry, go ahead.
Fat ass Paul Heyman dressed as Paul Bear. That was great. Super de-duper.
Oh my God.
Anyway, that You Burn the Funeral Home is when we're introducing Kane back in 1997, late 97. There we go. There's a year for you. You burned the funeral home. Okay. Kane is alive. A lot of obvious conclusions here. And I am glad that Cole and Russ get to be themselves. Very good for them. Very happy. Couple there, it seems like, even though all their friends just died and parents tried to kill him, and we just kind of don't mention it again. We mull over it. All right. And like we already kind of mentioned, Arthur gets away, which is not ever touched on again. So that's pretty lame. I like the scene where she kind of just floors it and, drives the stick. I think that's fun. It's a nice callback. And again, I think the father and daughter are the heart of the film in a movie that doesn't have a ton. So I think it's fun. Listen, man, they were new to the town, and now Dad's running for mayor. Like, all right, man, good luck with that. That's definitely going to play into the sequel somehow, I'm sure. A decently happy ending, and I did like the little... That's definitely a cliffhanger when she throws the clown in the box out of the window and it opens up. That's clearly going to also lead to our next movie because, again, the series of books has 3 and a 4th one on the way. So we're definitely getting some more movies, which means I will be picking them because otherwise Dustin would never watch. And that's not why I'm here. I'm here to make Dustin watch every sequel possible.
If they get a theatrical release, I'll go. A hate watch still counts as a watch. But you mentioned Kane's debut. They started talking about Kane in April of 97, but his debut was actually...
October. Right,
about four days ago was the 28th anniversary.
Yeah,
October 5th, 1997.
That's gotta be Kane. That's gotta be Kane. Sorry,
I had to throw in some filler there because I don't have much on the ending here. Quinn walking around the corner and seeing Cole and Russ kiss and saying it's such a confusing night. That was funny. That's great line delivery there. But then, like you said, Brian, it's just she goes from not being able to drive a stick at all to mastering how to use how to work the clutch instantly. I rolled my eyes so hard, I almost gave myself whiplash. Like, come on. This ending, just like the last set of scenes, went on too long. We didn't need to see her leaving for college, throwing the Jack in the Box out the window. Just end it. You can give us a sequel. I know you're going to. You can give us that sequel without that. Just end it when they're all safe. Feel good ending. We're done. Go home. But, all right, guys. That wraps up the scene by scene. Anybody have anything else before we jump into social media?
No, sir.
All right. I'll go ahead and knock out X since I've got it pulled up. All right. We only have one on X, the artist formerly known as Twitter, none on Blue Sky. It's from Andrew Ferguson, who said, I don't know who I loathe more, teenagers in 2020's horror comedies or the writers of the films. And honestly, that's a valid question. This movie had a lot of Thanksgiving vibes, but it's a much better movie.
Well, that reminded me of that remake of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, too. Like, oh, God, the writing for those characters are terrible.
God damn it. Movie's fine.
Even if you think the movie was fine, like there was some bad writing. Like,
Oh, of course there was.
my biggest
Sure.
pet peeve, as you guys have heard me call out for a long time, is dialogue.
Yeah.
Like, right? I'm convinced that people don't have conversations anymore. They don't know what
can't
conversations
remember.
sound like.
I can't remember,
Right.
and I'm not
Right.
saying this to like, I gotcha. Did you like the dialogue in Bodies, Bodies, Bodies?
I thought it was fine.
I hated most
I
of
don't
it, but
think it was-
not all of it. It wasn't this bad.
I don't think it
I
was.
thought it was realistic.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not the dialogue that
Sure.
It's definitely dialogue for a younger generation.
Sure.
But that's how they talk. So
Right. It
I
was
thought that it was
realistic.
fine.
Yeah.
Right. Evil dies tonight. That's great dialogue, baby.
Yeah, we got nothing on the gram.
All right, and the old Book of Faces here. Shan Pie. Fun movie. Lex and I binged all 3 books a week after watching. Can't wait for the next movie. A friend talked to Adam Cesare, who said it's in the works, of course. Really liked the concept behind why everything was happening. I still don't know that concept, so okay. There's an interesting twist in the book that they omitted from the movie. And she said she'll shoot us a message off of Facebook to say what that is, because she's curious to see what our thoughts on, or if they should have included it or not. I haven't even seen it, and fucking they should have included it.
Well, I
'cause they're
definitely
in
want
one
to.
right now.
I definitely want to hear it. Sure, I definitely want to, Shan.
That would have been something we should have discussed on the show. That would have been a good one to send to have us read on air.
Next week.
Sean
next week.
Irwin said.
Yeah.
Sean Irwin said, "Thought it was an entertaining movie. Some decent kills, nowhere near as bad as he was expecting." Agreed.
Yeah.
Love you, Sean.
All right. Well, let's jump into fun facts. And after fun facts is the budget. Go ahead and remind you, Mike.
Buddy, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. I'm not the one who forgets. You guys have
I'm
forgotten
kidding,
more
I'm
about
kidding.
the budget than I have over the years. Just saying.
I forget everything, though. That's not my fault.
It is your fault.
Sometimes I go to bed and wake up and I can't remember her name. She's laying right beside me. Anyway, Brian, you said you don't have any fun facts? All right, I just got one. The movie was set in the fictional town of Kettle Springs in Missouri, but the movie was actually shot in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, and I included that one because I just wanted to say, I'm from Winnipeg, you idiot. Shout out to Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then the last one I've got is that Will Sasso was in Henchmen with Thomas Middleditch, who I'm a big fan of, who was in Once Upon a Time in Venice with David Arquette.
Very nice. Man, there was a lot of connections you could have made there. Will Sasso
There
was
was.
on
I
an
just wanted
episode
to
of Monday Nitro with Scott Hall. Who was on an episode of Nitro with Macho Man Randy Savage, who was in Ready to Rumble.
The
with David Arquette.
NWO.
With-
Yeah, it's true.
There you go. You're welcome. Will Sasso wrestled Bret Hart on Monday night. Okay, all right, I'm done. Anyway, the budget for Con and Cornfield was right around that $1 million range, which is, I would not have guessed that. I mean, it has that like cheap vibe, but I felt like they did that on purpose. I guess they did that out of necessity. So what do I know? Opening
It's
weekend
good
had
effects,
about
though.
three. Yeah,
I was just about to say
Yeah.
that, especially for $1 million.
for sure. Opening weekend had about 3.6 million. Most of it was right around, or was mostly festival releases. Had some theater. 2277 was how many theaters that it was in. Biggest opening weekend ever for an IFC film, which actually passed Late Night with the Devil, a much better movie, but good. Still, I like both films. Total gross was anywhere from $7 to $9 million worldwide.
Like, if you get 7 times your budget back, you're happy.
Yeah.
You're happy as
Film
as the
debuted
guy
at
used to say, I'm happy as a pig
number
in shit,
5
so.
at the box office.
Yeah. I mean, they had a decent little social media campaign. Like, I remember seeing a lot of people talking about it or seeing posts about it and stuff. Because I did see a trailer for it when I went to see something else like a month before I saw it in the theater. So it had a little bit, but you're right. It was not much marketing. So good job. Good job. Round of applause for everyone involved. Let's go ahead and get into our favorite kill, least favorite kill, and the ratings. I'll go ahead and kick us off. Favorite kill to me was that head smash at the end. Like, it was just, turned his head into a pulp. That was great. And the blood spew was fantastic. But there's a lot of good kills. Least favorite kill to me, though, is the bench press. Like, just a hacksaw's not going to do that. Not that quickly, not that efficiently, not at all like that. So I didn't like it. But like I said, I did like it. It's just my least favorite. As far as my final thoughts on the rating, it's dumb, but it's fun. It's not as good as Eli Craig's other horror comedy, Tucker and Dale versus Evil. Shout out to Alan Tudyk and the great Tyler Labine.
Alan Tudyk.
Yeah, and the great Tyler Labine.
Alan Tudyk too.
But I don't hate this movie at all. I gave it a flat 6.
All right, y'all go ahead and go with my favorite kill, least favorite kill, and the rating. Favorite kill, I'm going to go with, I know Dustin wasn't a fan of this during our instant reaction, but I'm going to go with Matt getting his head chopped off and doing the bench press. It just reminded me a lot of Nightmare 4, Debbie's kill, Roach Motel. I really like that kill. Head popped off. Least favorite kill, I am going to go with, who am I going to go with? I'm going to go with the clown who got hit at the end and exploded all over the windshield. I just didn't care for that. It just seemed really extra phony. I just didn't love that. Rating, I give the movie a 7.5. I really have fun with this movie, a lot of fun. I just find it entertaining. It's nothing too deep, nothing too serious. Shan, she messaged me a twist that they did in the movie compared to the book. In the book, they have Ronnie's character and her boyfriend. I believe it's Matt. Can't remember. Sorry if I'm forgetting that. But they're actually in on it with the adults. But in the movie, they get killed as well. And I think that fits better just because, the teens and slasher movies, they get killed also. I like that. So, yeah, I give the movie a 7.5. I enjoy it. I have fun with it every time I watch it.
All right. I'll go ahead and go. My favorite kill, I had the smash kill too, but I'm going to go with the Janet Pitchfork kill because you picked it. The banner after made me laugh. I don't know. They're all pretty damn good though.
Yeah.
At least visually, like you said. Least favorite kill. My least favorite kill was Mr. Vern's magic exploding kill after being hit with the car. That kind of sounded like a what was that? What was that bus show or the
Magic School Bus?
Be a whole cartoon Magic School Bus episode or something. Mr. Vern's magic exploding kill.
You don't remember that
so
because you were already like 40 when that show was on for us in school. So that's why you don't remember.
Thanks for interrupting me.
It is funny. It is funny though because I was just joking when I said Magic School Bus. I didn't think that's what you were actually talking about.
That was it. That's 100% what I was trying to think of. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. This movie again. Maybe that's explained later in the books. The pacing is not great. Nothing about it is really great, but it is a fun time if you're watching it. It has great kills, a good Halloween time movie, like I said in my open. I didn't love it or hate it, but I'm glad it exists. I gave it a 5.75.
Yeah, my favorite kill is actually barbell hacksaw. It's probably no one's surprise as someone who likes to lift weights, but I thought it was a very creative kill. I'd never seen it before, at least not done like that. So I thought that was a very fun kill. My least favorite is the clown at the end where they run him over. He just explodes like a dude. He looked like throwing a tomato at a window. Like what the fuck? That's not how people look when they get run over. It doesn't matter. Like maybe sometime, but like
Brandy Norwood.
I know. Anyway, but no. All in all, fun film. Really, just was in the mood for a slasher, in the mood to pick a slasher, and this was kind of on the newer side, so went ahead and did that. And I'm glad that I did because, again, through my second watch, I enjoyed it just as much as I did the first time. Quick watch, can turn my brain off, have a good time with it. I don't think they stuck the landing, but again, maybe it'll be more fleshed out. Maybe it'll make more sense. It's not that it doesn't make sense. I just don't necessarily like it because it's not. They don't spend enough time throughout the rest of the movie telling me that story. So if you're going to do a nuanced film with a plot, then have that be the way the whole film is. That's not what we get here. We got to beat that dead horse. Some won't beat it anymore. Great kills. I thought the shot, there's a lot of great shots, a lot of really cool looking background. It looks like Missouri or a Midwest town, so I think they kind of nailed that vibe as well. All in all, I gave it a 7. I thought it was a really fun time.
All right. That gives us a composite score of a 6.5625. IMDb has it at a 5.6 out of 10. Letterboxd 2.6 out of 5. Rotten Tomatoes 74%. That's good. 74%. That's good.
All right, guys. Well, shout out our blood donors, and I'll announce my pick for spooky season. Shout out all of our blood donors. Really appreciate y'all. You take a huge burden off of us. Camper Level Reoccurring, Horror Movie Crew Podcast, Michelle Mirza, Steve Schmidt, Matt from the UK, and Anthony Andrews. Camp counselor reoccurring Edwin Hernandez Gunn, Joe Swinford, Adrian Aiello, Brian Samick, Andrew Ferguson, Brooke Maley, Heather Superdoc, Jennifer Davis need Too Close to Home Pod, Dana Tucker, Cole McAlexander, Max K, Madison Arzola, and Casey Smith. Really appreciate y'all. Like I mentioned, you take a huge burden off of us. It means a lot. For my pick in spooky season, I chose Saw 5. This is probably the last Saw movie I pick. I may pick 3D down the road, but Jigsaw, not a fan of it. Saw X doesn't do nothing for me. But I'm a big fan of Saw 5. I just met Julie Benz again at Scaradise, got her to sign my Billy mask. I like Saw 5. It gets a lot of hate online for some reason, but I enjoy it. But yeah, I'm excited to do Saw 5 next week.
Definitely looking forward to jumping back into the Saw franchise. I know that Nico, you and I love it a little bit more than the other two, but I think we all like them.
Love Saw.
Oh, we do, but I think I have Saw.
I just like all of them. I just don't have hate. I just don't dislike any of them.
What I'm saying is, I think if you go to our website, Saw is listed as my favorite franchise. That's what I'm saying under my profile.
You did say that.
Spiral, I think, too.
Except for Spiral.
Yeah, Spiral. You love Spiral.
Shout out to Chris Rock. We appreciate y'all tuning in, and we'll be back next week.
Thank you so much, everybody. I'll see you next week. And in the meantime, take care of yourself.
Just want to remind everybody